that note, please rise. The council, please rise. For the pledge, and remain standing for prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this very special week, and we just thank you for the blessing of this evening and for this opportunity to gather and to meet for the city. And we pray to thank you not only for all the blessings in this community, all that we have to be thankful for. My goodness, from each other to our homes, to the places of work, to the services that are provided for us, all the things that we have in this community to be thankful for each and every day. But we also thank you for our freedom, and thank you for peace. And in that, I pray for everyone over in the Ukraine, and just pray for your guiding hand upon that situation. Pray for a hedge of protection upon those residents in the Ukraine, and that they find shelter and find comfort in your presence. We just thank you that we do not have to contend with such horrific measures here. And we're so thankful for the people that protect us each and every day. We give you all the praise and glory and honor. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Cindy, if you would.
Elmore,
Present.
Bob Leahy,
Here.
Nathan Conklin,
Present.
Tim Heiss.
Here.
Tito Perez.
Here.
All right. Trust you've had an opportunity to review the consent agenda as presented. Any questions? If not,
I do.
yes.
I forget what part it is, but it's referring to the to Bob Gentry's request for that, that the city do something with to help the lights at the park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recall him suggesting a resolution, but I remember myself being the one who brought up the resolution, and I suggested that a resolution be written up.
Okay.
So if the minutes could reflect that, please.
All right. Any other additions or corrections?
I've got something, I can't remember what page it is. There it is. On top of the ordinance 2020-16, we should have got this 2 years ago, but I did not, and I don't know if anybody else did either. At the bottom it says title of, basically my title, it says District 4 council member. On the bottom it says page 45, it's actually supposed to be District 3. That's the only, not a huge correction, but I emailed Jan, but I figured this way, she now hears my voice as well as sees the email.
Gotcha. Well, Cindy's here, but yeah.
Well, I know she'll listen to the recording.
You're talking about
Yes, there you go.
2016?
The ordinance, yes.
Because I don't know if everybody else is affected, because I am affected too, right? There's no at-large person.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say,
they've assigned me to 4th district.
That's what I thought. I emailed her too.
Okay.
I said both of them, but I didn't want to say that one without 100% confidence.
So she's got both of those notifications of change? Okay, very good. All right, anything else? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve consent agenda with aforementioned amendments.
I'll move we accept the consent agenda as presented with amendments.
We have a first, we have a second.
I second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Consent agenda approved with amendments. We have no presenters. I do not have any current updates. I will on the next meeting, and in fact we meet with Ivy Tech Wednesday to discuss get the details on the curriculum for Vision Corner, specific to what the industry leads provided us. So that's a big meeting coming up this Wednesday. Cindy, I don't reckon Jen left anything for you to cover, did she?
No.
Okay. And council members, we'll start with Tito. Tito, do you have anything?
Just wondering if are someone going to write up a resolution?
I will check.
Because you were going to check into whether the city can actually do it with the department heads.
Yeah, well, I was wanting to get a feedback from Brad now that they're back, because was Brad out last week, correct?
Last week.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. So that's why I didn't interview him, but to get feedback in terms of what specific man hours he estimates they do spend on retrieving the cards, and then what else they might be able and willing to commit to. So I could have Monty write something up, or Bob for that matter. I will get with them and then we'll have something for the next meeting.
Okay, perfect. That's all I had.
All right, Tim?
I don't have anything.
Nate?
I have one thing, and it is actually in regards to the wind turbines.
Uh-huh.
Essentially, I know we get a lot of questions about what's going on with them and things like that. Ultimately, we can't go into very much specifics other than it has been semi-resolved. They are still standing because there is ongoing dispute resolution on the one on the north side of town, on the one on the south side of town. It is technically out of compliance for what Area Planning Commission has on the books that were here last week, and that in turn goes into a little bit of why I was heated. It has not been resolved. They're out of compliance in regards to a non-working wind turbine, and nobody has resolved it. So, anybody in the community that's interested and wants these things to either move, change, whatever, call Mr. Randy Abel over there at Area Planning Commission and ask the status. If the city does continue to move forward with our own area planning and zoning locality, that'll be a different subject. But for the time being, that is still in their ballpark. Other than that, I like seeing the spring, and I'm a little disappointed. Feel free, people, anytime, come visit a council meeting. It's a little more fun when there's audience interaction. But other than that, that's all I've got.
Very good. Bob?
I don't have anything.
Brandon?
No, nothing today.
Well, thank you. Steve?
I have nothing except for the I'm on the minutes for the park board.
Very good, very good. And I have covered our student representative role. I've discussed that with Aaron. We're already having discussions on formulating something that would be more conducive to actual student representation here at the meeting physically for the next New business, we have ordinance 2022-06, which is the codification ordinance, and that is on the first reading. And I don't know if Jan had this set up. I don't know if you had anything you want to add to this, Steve. Really, it's nothing too fancy. Make sure I pulled the right one. So it says an ordinance enacting. No, wait, so sorry. There we go. Whereas the American Legal Publishing Corporation of Cincinnati, Ohio, has completed the 2021 supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Union City, which supplement contains all ordinances of a general nature enacted since the prior supplement to the Code of Ordinances of this municipality. And whereas the American Legal Publishing Corporation has recommended the revision or addition of certain sections of the Code of Ordinances which are based on or make references to sections of the Indiana Code, whereas after review and approval by the city attorney, it is the intent of the council to accept these updated sections in accordance with the changes of the law of the state of Indiana, whereas it is necessary to provide for the usual daily operation of the municipality and for the immediate preservation of the public peace, health, safety, and general welfare of the municipality, that this ordinance now take effect at an early date. So basically what it's saying is any change in the state of Indiana are in here and codified under our ordinances. And to be honest, I wish they had to. When the prescribing information changes, when the PI label changes, they always list the changes at the very beginning of the PI. They don't do this with codification of ordinances. I don't think there's anything that's significant language, and certainly, again, it's been reviewed by the attorney. There's nothing that stands out that would be of, how do I want to say this? Not gross negligence, but certainly of adverse effect on the community.
Change the intent of an ordinance.
Right, exactly. But like I said, it's not very glamorous, but it's a matter of formality. So do we have any questions? And this is on the first reading. If not, I would.
Yes.
Yes.
I what I did was I took this and I sort of compared it with our current ordinances that we had before, not current, right, this is current, but the ones we had before, and I came up with
Are you talking about the one in 2019?
the one that we got in a big binder when we
Yeah,
took.
yeah.
when we
Yeah,
took
basically, from what I'm seeing, they're back to back. Like one page is 20, 21, and then a couple pages later, it matches it. So you may not have been reading the most up to date one.
I read the one that Jan sent.
Yeah, that one says
And I
2019 on the bottom left, and then the one said 2021. Am I interpreting this incorrectly?
That what do you mean? I don't understand.
Basically, the comparison, the old one and the new one are both here. 2019 in the bottom left corner is packet. It may be a previous version prior to 2019.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I think the exercise is still valid, right? Because I mean,
Yeah.
we're coming to the latest version.
Yeah,
And
but
so
if
my-
you reviewed one that the changes were already done in 2019, they may be pointless now.
But if you
Well, no, they're not. So
if you reviewed it off
Okay.
of the website,
He said the book. Was it the
Right.
book or the website?
I checked with the book and this, and I have comments on this.
Okay.
So because this is the current update one. So if I have several. One is and if they don't sound pertinent, if you think it's better done offline with a list or something, then I can do that too.
Can you give us the page number so we can follow along?
I'll give you the I don't know, was it 34.19 is my first one. It's the actual, what do you call that? I don't know what you call that, title word, subtitle or. 34.19 is the
Got it.
is the facade improvement program.
Correct.
Just an observation, it doesn't list a source of funding or how the fund will be replenished. That was just an observation.
That we allocate via the budget, like it's a budget line item at the beginning of the year, right?
Mhm.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we do have it, yeah, they're
It's,
supposed to be
it's
for
just a general
40,000.
fund line, yeah.
But I don't know if that's spelled out in here, I do not see where it's spelled out.
I think that was originally done so that based on what we had going on at any given time, we could move it from projects
If we
to
needed to.
edit to whatever we
Yeah.
needed to.
Yeah, without it being stipulated, it's a little bit more nimble, where, like you're saying, Steve, it can be from other.
True.
other
I mean, I don't think we're, without Ryan available, I don't know that we're required to have it listed.
Right.
We can look into it.
Because everything well, not everything, there's a lot of things in here that are fluid to a degree anyway, depending on year to year, what your budget wiggle room is. I mean, like sidewalk, for example, we had that in the budget we had that written down for a number of years where we never tapped into it because nobody applied. And so we got to the point where we don't even have a budgeted amount to it, but it's still in there. We still have a sidewalk line item that's zeroed out. Let me ask Ryan. That's good. Let me ask Ryan if we need to have that listed as a actual location for the budget. I don't believe we do, but I'll get that verified.
Is there a certain space in here you think it should go?
You asking me or Tito?
Tito.
The other funds listed in like the first couple, you have the title and then it's the first or second paragraph or after the title. Anyway, I think we're good with Chad looking into it. Next one I have is section D of 3420. 3420 is the ARP Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Grant Fund. And section D says the Common Council shall adopt a plan which provides details for the. So just noting that.
Section
we
D
have-
where?
So I'm looking under 3420.
Mhm.
Which is ARP Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Grant Fund. Then you've got, under that, you've got A, B, C, and then some numbers, and then D. I'm looking at D,
Uh-huh.
and it says the Common Council shall adopt a plan.
Which we have that.
The plan that we have, that I've seen is, was a cursory thing that we voted on to submit so that we could get the ARP funds. It's not one that provides details. I think you did give us a partial one.
Mhm.
I don't think we ever voted, and then there was. I think you said you were going to give us another part of it, and we haven't received.
Well, that's for the housing, for the infrastructure for the housing. You've received part of it for the, part of it was for Vision Corner, obviously. Initial funds allocated were for the radios, which that's on a, we submitted what we submitted to the state, but there was a spreadsheet that showed the different allocations of what we were aligning funds toward. I don't know if you recall that. I can print that, have it printed, and we can have that at the next meeting, certainly.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
So,
Then one I just found a little bit interesting, 34.02. 34.02, purchase of supplies manufactured in the United States, and we all know that one and agree with it. But I was curious to see that sections B, C, and D.
you see, I'm sorry, 3402?
3402, yes.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Alright.
I think maybe I got that wrong.
The Cumulative Capital Development Fund?
No, I'm maybe I got that number wrong. It's purchase of supplies manufactured in the United States. Where's that?
Okay.
Goodness. I guess maybe it's 3502 or something, another 202. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's 3902. I'm sorry.
All right, no problem. Okay, gotcha.
So we've got A, that's fine, but I was interested to see B, C, and D, right? Because it says, let me just read the person. It says the purchasing agency or any person acting as a purchasing agent designated by the purchasing agency, which is the Board of Public Works, shall purchase all supplies and services required by the city from the Department of Correction. That's B. C is the same thing, but that we should be purchasing from the State Rehabilitation Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired. And section, I guess it's D. If these two don't have what we need, then we should be buying from a qualified nonprofit agency. I don't know, guys. This is my third year here, and I don't think I've ever seen anything purchased from these from these agencies.
Well, the person that does it and pays the bills is sitting right there. Cindy, can you advise? Have we ever ordered through any of those?
None of those are familiar, no.
We don't have access to some of these.
I was gonna say, is this something that's set down by the state that we're supposed to follow this, or was this something that we simply enacted over the years because of a certain protocol? Because I'm seeing it looks like it's 2021 S25. I don't remember ever discussing that, but then I see another number, 2007 S-14, that it looks like it may have been approved then.
That was even before my time. We've never, I tell you what, in the 12, 13 years I spent on council, we never, Tim, do you recall ever any of these?
I'm not sure what we would purchase from them.
No, I don't either.
I mean,
I just thought it's interesting that it's in there. I mean, if it's inapplicable, can we delete it, or good question, Nate. I mean, is that something we're required to?
I mean, is the aim of
I'm
it
wondering
to
if it's
purchase
state
if
If it's all possible.
if it's possible, yeah.
What I would probably suggest, just because this happens to us operationally from time to time, there are things in our ordinance, because they're dated way back in our history, that doesn't necessarily apply in current times. Just like the air in the park.
Well,
So
here's,
you know,
they're out, as you read through the end of it though, they give you the outs on each one. So in a timely manner, okay, so unless, like midway through B, where it says unless about 3/4 of the way down, those supplies and services cannot be furnished in a timely manner, do not meet the specifications and needs of the city, or cannot be purchased at a fair market price. And then it does that again and again in each one.
yeah.
So, yeah, because to be honest, I'll check with Kobe. I don't even know what they would get through the Department of Corrections. I imagine if we called the Department of Corrections asking to purchase certain things that we normally purchase, they'd probably be,
Well-
you want to do what? But I will check.
Well, where's the department's printed catalog?
Exactly.
You know, that's
yeah.
the first thing that's
Right.
probably the first indication of the age of this is that it's when they talk about a printed catalog, that those generally don't exist anymore. But and
My gut is telling me this is something that we're supposed to have in there from the state of Indiana's requirements.
If you look at the very bottom of it, it actually tells you when it was passed.
9.
Yeah, so this is coming from the state.
Yeah, but I will check with Kobe, Brad, and Rob, but I imagine,
I mean, anymore, we check the government websites all the time, govdeals.com and all that.
Gov deals.
Gov deals. So, I mean,
Well,
and
this,
you know, from time to time, you'll see Department of Corrections as the seller and things like that on there. So but it's generally not things we're looking for.
Ah.
So it's, you know, excess vehicles,
Oh.
you know, things that just we're not going to go after, and you know, that's just, I don't think that's pertains to us on a day-to-day basis.
but I will definitely
other
check with the
thing-
guys, and I'll check.
I'm actually glad Tito brought this up because it looks like there's a lot that's not been updated for 39. And that's what I'm wondering, is this a state thing unless the city approves something that supersedes? That's what I assumed, that you have to follow these, but if you have more specific ones, you can elaborate and be more specific. That's 5,000, well, 2,500.
2,500. Yeah.
That's our new one, we just voted on, so.
When did we do? Did we do that this calendar year, or was it last?
yeah,
This kind
So that
Yeah.
then it wouldn't be in this codification, because these are codifications for
But
last year's.
we had last year's, wasn't it above 1,000?
Yes, it was above it was
That's what I thought.
$1,000 last year.
It was $1,000.
But that's what's codified here. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's accurate.
So the next year won't even say 2,500 until next year's
Right.
codification. But we've already got an ordinance in place that technically replaces this.
Yeah.
Super.
So this is one of those necessary but pointless exercises. Sorry.
well, and
Keep
actually,
going.
that's one of the points with what we're doing here is codifying last year's ordinances, so we really can't modify these in this codification
Right.
because these are the ones that are in place.
Right.
These are the ordinances in place, and if we pass anything now, it will be in the next round of codification.
It's basically a snapshot on
Yeah,
December
snapshot of what
31st.
we did last year.
So, but I think, I mean, if we got these issues, I mean, there's something we can clean up. Like we can pass ordinances to
Yeah.
make the amendments if necessary.
Right.
But it won't be in the books until next
Yeah,
year.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't do it in this process, but we can, but fair point that we can clean up some things.
Yeah. So the next thing I've got is, I don't know if some of the things that were in my binder seem to have been omitted. It seems like this is just updating the things that needed updated, and that those things, other things remain, because I'm looking at 39.04 is not in these. 39.04.
3904 in your binder is not in these.
Right. 3904 is the city credit card. So what we have before us has no reference to a city credit card. Just saying.
Okay.
I think it was just omitted here because if you go up to chapter 39, the heading, there is a 3904 subsection.
Yeah, 39.04. Wonder if it was a page that was just missed.
Yeah, it's not in the printed materials
Oh, okay.
here.
Could be that. Okay. Then I saw that chapter 53.28, the bulk water rate was omitted. I wondered why that was omitted.
5328.
Yeah. But I did see the increase in the bulk rates under 53, under the schedule of service. Yeah, 53.28 is gone.
The bulk rate is covered under 53.23.
Yes.
So
So I guess if that's all we
So
need. huh?
replace it, yeah. Just move to a different section.
Okay, so then we have 70/30. And this is new, like it wasn't in the binder. And so my question is, where did it come from? So to my recollection, we have not discussed this in the past. And I was wondering, what is the purpose or intention of this streets policy and program?
this looks like it came down through INDOT
Yeah.
and the Randolph County Highway Department.
It was passed in 2017.
Yep.
So your binder may have just not been updated.
Hmm. Since 2017, old binder?
And the website would probably be the better source to look
Yeah.
at because it's
Oh.
updated more regularly.
Don't look at my binder.
Mine's in a box.
They probably wouldn't have that 2017 ordinance either.
No, it probably would not.
So is there a streets policy and program? Like,
We do.
Quit counting.
Somewhere.
That's here forever. The online version.
I'd like to have a look at that. Are you looking it up?
Have you looked at the online?
No, I didn't look it online.
Okay. Link to detailed city ordinances. So you're at 72,
I was at 70/30.
70, 30, general provisions. So what are you wanting to know?
Where that came from. And I mean,
Where what come from?
that whole section wasn't in my binder.
Let's say it's in here.
Yeah.
It's on the online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, complete streets policy and program. It's in here online.
My suggestion would be to schedule a time with Jan to get your
Yeah,
binder
it's,
corrected.
it's all in here.
So, but let me ask you this. I mean, this refers to having a complete streets program. Is there a document that is a complete streets program, like sort of?
In our ordinances, I mean,
Not this section that I'm looking at.
I mean, is there a plan for the
Yeah.
streets? Yeah, we have to have a plan. All the streets are ranked in terms of necessity. They're based on necessity for repaving and or patching and so forth. That's what allows us to apply for the community crossings program.
Every one of our streets is graded mile by mile.
Yeah, so we have to have everything ranked. So no, everybody's street in the entire community is on a list, but in a pecking order. So if you're at the top of the list, that means the first time there's funding allocated or available, that's the first street that gets done.
Wow.
So yeah, we do have that on file.
Good. Next point is about 72.04. The section is authority to establish parking stalls. The only thing that jumped out at me is that it refers to a safety committee. Do we have a safety committee?
The Board of Public Works.
Okay.
Works, yeah.
Okay, all right. And then, Schedule 7, Roman numeral 7, the speed limits, has lots of errors. I'll just name 3. Chestnut Street, right, from State Line to Howard is not 20 miles an hour like this says. The signs that are on the street now are actually 30 miles an hour.
Where are you at? I'm sorry.
Oh, Schedule 7, the speed limits. Let me see. Is it back?
Top right corner says page 41, I believe.
Oh, thank you. 41. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yes.
Deerfield Road.
Which one's not 20? Because Chestnut down here to state line is 20.
Yep.
The sign that, if you go by there, the sign says 30.
Right down
in
here
front of
between-
the old Walgreens?
Huh?
There's a sign right there
Yes.
that says 20.
Between Walgreens and
Yes.
state line?
Well, I came from the Ohio side. Maybe there's one facing the other way that says 20.
Well, we're in Indiana and we're
I-
council over
I know, but the sign is in Indiana. Anyway, have a look because the one that I saw is 30, and also going towards Howard Street, so also says 30.
Okay.
Right.
Unfortunately, we can't even make changes to that because that is a state thing. It's a state route.
So which is this? I'm not calling for a change. I'm just wondering which is right? Because this one says it's 20.
State supersedes
Well,
anything the city does.
say
Is this what the state says? Because what's posted on those streets
The
is
state
30.
changed it. It used to be 20.
Aha.
But the state changed it when they when did they do that? Was that last year? I think it was just last
I
year.
think it was last year. And
Just last year, so.
last year they changed it out. Deerfield
So
to
that, and this
28.
was probably changed
20 years ago.
no, this was probably done, what's the date on that? When we did the trailer, when we did Greenwood Park, it's probably the last,
That's still quite a
Oh,
while.
change on
passage
that.
date 9/17 of 1979.
See,
well, yeah, that's
that was
this is the last time it was, this 7/13/20 is the last time anything was amended on that page.
Right.
But we didn't change that, so it wouldn't be, it's not in our, I don't even know if it's relevant anymore because since we don't have any power in that, it may not even be relevant to state those on the state highways because the state controls it, so it's not.
So, but then the Columbia Street from Hickory to Chestnut is also a state highway,
Right.
right? Is not, the ordinance says it's 20.
And that is 30.
And
It's
it's
30.
30.
It was 20, but it's 30 now.
just all I think.
But the state supersedes anything we do on those state highways, so if it's in our ordinance, It's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I mean,
not,
there's-
it's moot.
There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, we're
That's
not,
like
we're not,
saying, that's like saying Union City is gonna make pot legal and the state says no.
The state doesn't want it to be 20 miles an hour?
Whatever they say goes, we can't
yeah,
change
they're the
it.
ones that post those signs. We don't.
Oh,
post those
really?
signs.
I thought it
we
was
don't
our
post
street
it.
department that did
We
it.
don't, no, not on the state routes.
Okay.
Yeah, we do them side streets, but not on the state routes.
Yeah.
Okay, the last one is on that same page, and it's the ones in at Greenwood Park. All those streets, the ordinance is 25. I went out there; they're all marked 20.
That's because they requested that they be lowered.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, because of too many kids.
I think
are
I wanted
playing.
at 22.
Yeah, and too many kids are playing
All
and
the cities,
in danger.
because everybody drives.
Okay, so I just wanted to point those out, and I don't know if we want to eventually amend that and whatever.
Well, yeah, I will, I don't know how you want to frame this amendment, but this approval, but I will get with, when Jan returns, also a couple things I can get with the guys immediately and get some clarity on. Because we don't know if we need to vote on the facade for sure. We don't know if that's needed,
But,
the fund for the
but we're
facade.
still gonna have to, we're basically, what we're gonna have to do here is codify what's written now,
Right,
and then anything,
Go back
then go back and we can go back and look at some of these things and make changes to them, but it's not going to change what's written already in the
True.
ordinance, because these ordinances are written
correct.
And passed.
and passed. So we can't alter those,
So, yeah, so basically you gotta either yay or nay as they're worded.
and we can't
we don't
alter
really-
them and then codify them
Right,
at the same
exactly,
time.
exactly. So basically, we would just, I'll get cleared on these for you guys, so at least we can know going forward. And then have some insight. So,
Need a motion.
yeah, I do need a motion.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2022-06, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the code of ordinances of the city of Union City on the first reading by title only.
Do we have a first, do we have a second?
One moment.
Yes.
We're gonna. Fourth district, and you're not.
Yeah, that was screwed up
That's-
last year. I don't think we can make any changes to this, is my understanding.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, we can't do that unless, yeah. It doesn't really,
Because this one is correct. Ordinance,
mhm.
yeah, on this page, it is correct. It says council president, first, second, fourth, at large. That's where the next page, if you go back, that is where they're incorrect.
Oh, okay. No, did I
That
have-
was where what I was saying, I'm pretty sure it's the old one and the new one, page to
Oh, I
page.
see.
But it only makes sense halfway through, so
Yeah.
my assumption again is this is a state of Indiana, we have to do this type of deal.
Okay.
I'll
So
second it.
2206. Okay.
Please.
Oh,
Is that first?
Brandon, Brandon's actually, sorry, Brandon.
Incorrect.
Jane, if you would roll call please.
Cindy.
Or Cindy, sorry, Lord.
Brandon Elmore.
Yes.
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Nathan Conklin.
Yes,
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Tito Ferreras.
Yes.
yeah,
Steve?
it's just,
Yeah,
this
we're
is
not,
the old one, that's
Yeah.
the new one.
yeah, we're not
Park
actually
board?
passing
Yeah, park
anything,
board.
we're not
Um,
codifying this.
No.
We're going to,
I thought that's what was.
at the next meeting, have an ordinance prepared to basically create a park board once again. The plans, the conversations about making the improvements to the park, they need to happen. They're not able to happen effectively if we're not eligible for DNR funding. And in order to be eligible for that, we have to have a park board. So we would have rushed to have it done, but with Jan out and
So-
all the logistical things, we're going to have the ordinance ready for the next meeting.
Have you guys clarified with DNR that the Board of Works doesn't work?
The Board of Works is able to serve as the park board for everything but the DNR's interpretation of a park board.
Did we have that conversation before?
So we have to form a volunteer appointed board to serve as the park board. So just know that is important if we want to, focus on, future development at the park. We have to do that to go after the funding.
All right, so that'd be on the next agenda. So you'll have a chance to sink your teeth into it then. We do have a visitor. Lucky guess, right? If you would, state your name. If you're wanting to present to council, would state your
My name
name
is Donna Wise,
and your address.
612 North Union,
Okay.
and I have, Monty's not here, so I'm gonna direct it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I have talked to Monty about this several times. The house south of us is 606,
Okay.
used to be George Green's. It belongs to some people in Georgia now. They bought it for $6,000. I tried to buy it, they outbid me. They have gutted it, literally gutted it, hauled it away, but it's still a mess. It's been sitting since last fall, empty, abandoned,
Okay.
and it's a hazardous.
Yep.
It's like 10 feet in between our homes. If somebody go in and do something stupid,
Mm-hmm.
we would probably lose our home.
Do you know what the address is?
606 North Union.
606? Okay.
And they are registered in Randolph County Courthouse, because Monty's looked it up before, they did buy it. Now, I have another one on the other side of me that used to belong to Kurt Mills. It sold to a lady in Richmond. She is Hispanic. I was been told by them to rent a house, you have to have an expected, right?
Have to have what?
Your home, if you're gonna rent a house.
Oh,
You
inspected.
have to inspect it. Your sewer lateral has to be fixed and right, and
Mhm.
clean out. Well, Matt Good was down there a week ago. He said the lateral is a total disaster. He got down so far, he quit because it couldn't be fixed. He called her and told her. Now, you're not supposed to rent until this is done, correct?
That's correct.
There's 2 Hispanic guys living there.
Well,
There's no way we turn water on if it did not pass the rental
Well, then what are
inspection.
they doing with everything?
Well,
They're living there.
I'll check into it.
There
There's
may have
two
been a
of them.
situation where there was a planned, but I'm not sure what the situation
what is the
there.
address of that?
618.
618.
Matt
Still
Good.
north, or
Yeah,
not, still
no,
north
it's
Union.
on, it's North Union also. But Matt Good started it, and he said he stopped. You can tell there's a pile of wood, dirt down there. He said because it is a total disaster. It needs to be whole done. He said I put a bid in just to put a clean out in. He said I stopped, called her and told her what needed to be done. He said she hadn't gotten back with him. So he says, I'm not doing any more unless I get the go ahead to get paid for it. I understand that. Now this is a dump on both sides of me. It's not the housing, the yards. And I can't tell you the address back on the state line. Brad Minks could tell you, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But there's one back of us, they're nice people. I'm surrounded by Hispanic people. I have nothing against any of them, none of them. But this place is a dump. He's got his front yard, his backyard loaded. I can't tell you his address, I just know he's a couple houses north on state line from where I live.
But he's on the Indiana side.
He is,
Okay.
and I'm not the only one having a fits about it. We have other neighbors down there.
Let your neighbors know that they can go on 24/7, they can go online and submit a violation if they see something that's unkept or something that looks
Most of
like
my
it needs to be
neighbors are
addressed.
home, I'm not.
What's, I'm sorry?
I said, most of my neighbors are home,
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, they would have more opportunity certainly than you would. Their
but
schedules
it's a
are.
mess down there.
Well,
Has
we
the
will have
ordinance
our own.
officer been out there? I mean,
What's
I
that?
don't even know
Has
who
the
my
ordinance-
councilman is.
Has the ordinance officer been out there to take a look?
I'm gonna find out. He'll be out there first thing in the morning
Yeah.
to reassess for sure.
Yeah.
So,
I mentioned this to Tim about a week ago, about this. I know he's not my councilman, I'm not sure who is.
I think do you live in Union Street then?
I do.
Yeah, you would be in District 1 then. So,
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
need to go down and take a look at them.
Any of us can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hazard,
Absolutely.
both of them.
Yeah, and really, the ordinance
You
officer
can't,
should be
I mean, she
addressing
ran
the
and cleaned
issues.
the house, that's okay. But the outside needs cleaned up as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and appreciate you bringing that. We'll get right on.
There's a fence on the north side, and Kurt Mills,
Mhm.
put it up on the city property because he didn't want to cross over and take up, he didn't want to show where the gas line was. So that fence is on city property.
I have mercy. Okay.
Yeah, that's a mess too.
And that Mills was 6'8".
618.
618.
Okay.
But Matt might be able to tell you who the lady is that owns it. Because he's the one that told me about, and he wasn't gonna do any more. He said till he got okay from her to be able to get paid for doing it. And I don't blame him.
Right,
But
absolutely.
he dug up some tile and it's still in there. It's a mess.
Gotcha. Very good. Well, thank you.
Yep,
Thank you.
that's all I got to say. So far,
Well, appreciate it.
I'll see something done, I'll be back.
Yes, you should be. But we don't anticipate having you back, so
Nope.
if you read between the lines. Date of next city council meeting is Monday, April 25th. That's at 6 p.m. And the date of the Board of Works is also Monday, April 25th. That's at 1 p.m. I would hereby entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a first, we have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.